Hello friends! So I was rewatching Timeless again, and it got me thinking, if I could time travel anywhere and anytime, where would I go? So I made a list of my top 10 choices. It was very hard to narrow down the list to just 10, so I might do another video. But anyways, these are the times and places I would go. And of course the rules are you can't change anything, and anything you say or do won't impact our timeline at all. Hello friends! So I recently rewatched Timeless again, and I was just thinking of all the things that I would love to experience if I could time travel, and I came up with this list of the top 10 choices if I could choose where I could time travel. And obviously the rules are you can't change anything, so you can't go back in time and murder Hitler before he dies, and you can't go and abolish slavery before it's abolished, but you can go meet Harriet Tubman, and you can do everything that you would do if you could live there. So you can experience everything and you can meet everyone, you can talk to people, but it won't change anything in our timeline. So it's just purely for experience only. And so I came up with a list of my top 10 choices, but it was really hard, and I might do another video because it was super hard to narrow down the list to just 10, and there's so many places I want to go at so many different times, and I don't know, it just, I would love to time travel. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and here we go. So first is the 1893 Chicago World Fair, because it was just such an important thing historically. There were so many new inventions coming out, and it's a mind-blowing thing, and I would love to go there and experience it. Just so many amazing new inventions and innovations, and it really was futuristic for its time, so it does have a lot of steampunk vibes. I love steampunk, and it's just a very innovative thing. It was really momentous for its time. It made history. It was so futuristic and so steampunky as well, because in the 1890s it just really has that steampunk vibe, and everything futuristic was steam driven, and it was steampunky. So I would love to go and experience that, and all the awesome inventions that they had there for the first time being showcased, like Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, the first brownie, the first walkway travelator thingy that, they had standing area and a sitting area, and it's just, it seems so cool. They had the first commercial movie theater, and they had, Harry Houdini was one of the sideshow acts. How cool is that to have seen Houdini in action? And all of their sideshow acts really, and they had the first picture postcards with commemorative stamps, and they had these little commemorative coins, and I just want to go there. So yes, that is my first choice for where I would go if I could time travel. It's so massive, and it really did bring people from all over the world to each other, and it just kind of connected the world in a very futuristic sense, and I would have loved to have been there and see that and experience it. And it had so many sideshow attractions, and it's just a big melting pot of huge innovations and inventions from all over the world, and they were all there, and they were all just showcasing their amazing and innovative ideas, and I would really have loved to experience that. And it seems like such a cool place to have been, and I don't know, that's my absolute first choice, because it's just such an historical event. And yeah, that is my first choice, the 1893 Chicago World Fair. My second choice would be New York in the 1950s, because honestly, I think the 1950s were the height of, the Broadway type of New York that there is, because, New York was amazing, but in the 50s, it was the height of the Broadway period, and it just seems so amazing. I absolutely love What's My Line, and if you know that show, it was filmed in New York in the 1950s and 60s, and it's just so glamorous and beautiful, and I would have loved to go there and experience it. So if I could time travel, I would time travel there so I could see What's My Line like in real life. And also the amazing Broadway productions, and all the stars really, as well as Coney Island and all the cultural stuff really, the department stores and everything. It just seems so amazing. So if I could choose New York at any time in history, I would choose in the 1950s. I would love to be there and just experience that, and the culture in New York in the 50s, and just everything, all the amazing people that were there, all the celebrities, I don't know, just all my idols were there in the 50s. So I would have loved to have been in New York in the 50s and experience it. I already love New York now, so I can't even imagine what it must have been like in like the post-golden era of Hollywood, because honestly, all the Broadway shows and everything, just mind-blowing. And you know, just VE Day has to have been amazing there, you know, in the 50s. And it just, I don't know, it just seems like such a cool place to be and experience life and just be there for like a month or something. I don't know, it's just I would just really love to do that. The first department stores and everything, I don't know, just I love that time and I love the place. So So number 3 is Hollywood in 1945, specifically because of Disneyland and VE Day and shows like To Tell the Truth and everything, and just, you know, amazing things, and the movies and the Hollywood parties and the Hollywood culture. I just, oh, I want to be a part of it so bad. In the 1940s, it must have been amazing. And I love the 40s clothing, so it's kind of my favorite. And you know, just be a part of it and just experience everything. It has to have been amazing. It's called the golden era of Hollywood for a reason, and I would just have loved to have been there and experienced it. Oh, and I want to eat a banana. I once had eaten a banana in 1945 because it is before the banana famine, and okay, so I've talked about this in the previous video, and it's just mind-boggling. I just want to taste a banana before the banana famine happened. It's just one of my things. I just really want to do it, but the height of the Hollywood golden era, all the parties, all the productions, really just all the people, so glamorous. I would love to go there. The 40s are my favorite time period, clothing-wise, and I love it so much, and I would love to go there and experience it. They all seem so glamorous, and I would love to be there. And I don't know, I would love to go there. Next is Las Vegas. This is number 4, I think. Las Vegas in the late 70s, early 80s kind of era. It's like the height of the Las Vegas golden era, and it would have been so amazing to experience it. Of course, in like the 50s and 60s, it would have been amazing to go there as well, because in the 1950s and 60s, they had nuclear testings outside of Las Vegas, and they used to call them shows, so you could see them and experience them, and it probably was super dangerous, but it would have been so cool to see that. But if I had to choose any time period to go to Las Vegas, it would have been late 70s, early 80s, because that's like the height of the Las Vegas golden age, and just I would have loved to have been there and experienced it. Just, you know, everything, all the gangsters and shit. I don't know, it just seems like such a cool place to go. Number 5, I think. New York in 1920. So New York in 1920 has to have been awesome. You have the Roaring 20s parties, Coney Island, and you know, everything. And also in the 1920s, women got the right to vote with the 19th Amendment, and I would have loved to have been there and seen that. And you know, if you've read The Great Gatsby or seen the movies, which, you know, not as good, but if you have read The Great Gatsby, you know that the 1920s parties have had to have been mind-blowing. They're always described as so glamorous and so awesome, and same with Hollywood parties in the 40s, and same with New York parties in the 1950s. Of course, if I had to choose either the 20s or the 50s, I would go in the 50s, but the 20s, I would have loved to go. And you know, it's just a time of liberation, and it just seems like such an awesome time to be in New York. And can you imagine experiencing a party like Great Gatsby? Like, how insane would that have been? And also the clothes were amazing, you know, just the flapper costumes, just woo. Now, number 6 is the 1989 World's Fair in Paris. This is where they built the Eiffel Tower. They built the Eiffel Tower specifically for the World Fair in 1889. And I would just have loved to have been there and experienced it, and also steampunk vibes. Same as with the 1893 Chicago World Fair. So many steampunk vibes because it's so futuristic, but it's so steampunky. And I would just love to have been there and experienced it because, you know, all the innovations and everything, I don't know, it just seems like it would be such an awesome thing to experience. Number 7, June 2nd, 1953, because that is when Queen Elizabeth II was crowned, and I would have loved to have seen that coronation. It just must have been such a magical thing to experience. And, you know, it's just one of those really historical things because she's awesome and she's been on the throne for so long, and she's so cool. And I would have loved to experience that. It just, you know, see everything, just, I don't know, it just seems like such a happy time. Number 8, the Caribbean in 1699. So the Caribbean in 1699 was at the height of the pirate period. I would have loved to have gone there and been a pirate. I would love being a pirate. My favorite thing in the world would be to be a steampunk pirate, but no, I would have loved to have gone the Caribbean then, because that was just at the sweet spot where it was like just crawling with pirates, and just before it started dying out, because really the pirate period was quite short when you think about it, same as the cowboy period, but it's such a huge hype and I just want to experience it. Number 9, the 1939 World's Fair in New York. This was themed Building the World of Tomorrow, and it's honestly at the height of futuristic just technology and everything, and just the state of mind that is the futurism. And it's after the steampunk era, yes, because the other two I've mentioned, they are right in the steampunk area, and, you know, everything futuristic would have been steampunk, but in 1939 it was more modern than that. If you think of the futurism in the 1950s, that's what they were headed towards in 1939, and it was such a cool thing. I've seen so many pictures and, you know, I've read so much about it, same as with the other two really, but this was a futuristic in a sense that is more modern and more relevant today, maybe less historical and more modern, as opposed to the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, which is very historical but not modern anymore. Of course, it was super futuristic and super modern at the time, but with 1939 World's Fair in New York, that was super modern. Number 10. Okay, so this one was really hard to choose because it was between this one and another one, but I think I will do another video. And number 10 is 1890s Riding on the Orient Express, because I love the 1890s with the clothes and everything and the steampunky vibes, and riding on the Orient Express right at the height of its popularity and its gloriousness would have been amazing. I would love to experience that. And it seems like such a cool place to have been and such a cool thing to experience. And yes, you can go on the Orient Express today, but it's not going to be the same, and, you know, it's not the same mentality, it's not the same state of mind. Yes, it's more like recreating the past, but it's not the living in a moment that it would have been in the 1890s. And also, it's really expensive, so like if I could just time travel onto the Orient Express, that would be good. That was it. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of places and times you would like to go to if you could time travel. And I don't know, let's just compare notes. I'm a history geek, and I love history and just learning everything, and I would love to experience history firsthand, so it's really hard to choose. But yeah, let me know what your choices are, and I think I will do another video. And I don't know, I guess I'll see you in my next video, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, fill it with lots of happiness. Okay, bye. Hello friends, so there's 20